All right, a little bit of East Tennessee blues for you this morning. Okay, so here's the clickbait title alert right here. So it says something about the number one problem with your right hand. Okay, now I say this because a lot of people are really concerned whether they're doing the right hand properly. Okay, and so it's a lot of questions about, well, do I put my wrist on the bridge pins and kind of skate right there, kind of like Molly Tuttle does? Should I float my hand like, I don't even know who does that, like nobody does, okay? Should I put a finger down or drag a pinky like Brian Sutton or like whoever I've seen? Should I move my thumb in some kind of strange way like Tony Rice does? And most of that stuff doesn't really matter. I don't love the floating, okay? You all know that. I talk about that. I guess it works for somebody. I don't know who that really works for. Shane Richardson puts his pinky down. He plays with Sierra Hull. There's no guitar player on earth that's better than Shane Richardson. So if he gets away with having a pinky down, I think we're okay. I see obviously Molly Tuttle is kind of skating back here, and there's no guitar player on earth that's better than Molly Tuttle. So a lot of things can work, okay? So I'm going to bring up a problem that people aren't thinking about. And it may not be your right hand that's the problem. It may be the left hand coordination that's the problem, okay? So first of all, I want to say it is good to practice slow. Practicing slow develops accuracy in the right hand where you can think about your pick strokes. It helps your brain keep up with the song, like when you're learning to play what you hear the song sound like. And practicing slow develops a lot of strength in the left hand. It takes more strength to play slowly than it does fast, because your finger has to be there longer. You have to hold the note down longer. So you develop a lot of good strength with slow practice. Okay? So I'm going to tell you a story. When I was a kid, I was at a bluegrass festival with my dad, and I barely could play a mandolin. I knew a couple chords. And my dad said, why don't you go find somebody to watch? I think he was trying to get rid of me for a bit. So why don't you go find somebody to watch, see if you can learn something. So we were at this hotel bluegrass festival, and we went and found there's a lady playing mandolin. And I watched her for probably 12 seconds. And I figured it out right then, right there. I saw what she was doing on the mandolin. And I came running back to Dad. Now, I've been gone for 90 seconds. I'm sure he was trying to get rid of me for an hour. And I said, Dad, I figured it out. He's like, oh, okay, well, what'd you figure out? I said, well, you put your fingers on and you take your fingers off. And he's like, oh, okay, well, there might be a little more to it than that. And of course there is. Of course there's more to it than just the simplistic mind of a 13-year-old. You put your fingers on, you take your fingers off, right? Imagine this now. I'm going to play Blackberry Blossom. I just want you to watch my fingers. And when I do this part of the video, I'm going to take away the sound, okay? And so I want you to see this. So first, here's Blackberry Blossom. Now I'm going to take away the sound. Now when you watched it, what did you see? You saw my fingers going on and my fingers coming off. Okay? So there is something to this childlike understanding of playing music, okay? We could say any song is just a combination of putting your fingers on or putting your fingers off. As far as the right hand goes, I was just watching, I'd heard about this video, I went to check it out. I hadn't seen it yet. I really like what Troy Grady has brought to the table in terms of understanding the mechanics of players. It took me a while to figure out what he was doing. But he's trying to teach you what the mechanics of the human body are in order to play fast music, okay? Not that playing fast is everything, it's not, but that's what he's teaching. And so they have this video where they do tremolo picking, and they give somebody who's never played a guitar a pick and say, well, play as fast as you can on one string. And this lady does it, and they video it. And she ends up finding the same technique that famous guitar players like Andy Wood and Al Di Meola use to play fast. And the reason for that is there's not that many ways the human body moves. So the human body finds ways to do things, okay? So years ago, I switched to more of a Doc Watson approach where I keep my arm straight when I play. Now somebody might say, well, it looks like you're stiff. It's not stiff. My arm is straight. That doesn't mean it's stiff. That's completely relaxed. And I started playing like that. I found that that worked for my style of playing. Does it have limitations? Yeah, you bet it does. I found that for me to play a little bit faster, that was a way that worked for me. I've seen other people that can use their wrist. I have a really hard time doing that. I've seen some people that can kind of hang their wrist and go like this. I have a really hard time doing that. But whatever it is that you find that works, whatever mechanics that you find, is probably going to be okay. So here's my little exercise. You take a tremolo on one string. I'll do it on the D string. And your speed might be different than mine. And you're going to go over and over and over. Now, people don't like to listen to this, so you have to wait till they go to sleep or something. You're going to go over and over and over. Open, first finger, second finger. And you try to do it at the speed of your tremolo, and you'll find it's almost impossible. And you'll hear things like this, little spitty sounds. And the little spitty sounds are your two hands not being coordinated. I'm going to try to do it faster than I can really do this and see if I can get a spitty sound to come out. See how it starts to get a little bit like that. Okay, so slow it down a little bit. Don't do top speed. Now slow it down again. Do it backwards. This finger, then open. Okay. Now you could do it with these two fingers. If you want to include the pinky somehow, you could do that. I always want an open string in the pattern because it relaxes the hand. Now, you might find that the backwards way is easier. You might find that the frontwards way is easier. They might be about the same, but you're going to develop the coordination between this hand moving and this hand moving. When you can do that, we're going to do it on two strings. I'm going to go on the D string, then the G string, over and over and over. Try to keep the speed pretty consistent. Do that backward. And I found that to be a really good coordination exercise. Okay, so try doing that if you're worried about your right hand, whether your technique is right. It's probably okay-ish, okay? If you have a teacher, your teacher might tell you something different. Believe your teacher. You probably got a good teacher. If you need lessons, I do teach lessons. You can come to the website, andyslessons.com. I'm going to play one more round of, what is it called? East Tennessee Blues. Here we go. I'll do that intro again.